On Real Estate for Real Life podcasts, we sit down with standout business leaders to unpack what's actually working.
How they scale, lead teams, win clients, and build businesses that last. We're your hosts. I'm Courtney Gouchman.
And I'm Ryan Wilson. Thanks for tuning in.
We're back on Real Estate for Real Life, and we have a new co-host with us today, filling in for Ryan Wilson. We have Ashley Kinney. She's
Hi.
She's an agent at Wilson Group and an absolute rock star on the podcast. So we're happy to have her back.
I'm excited to be here. Today, our special guest is a dear friend of mine and the founder of Sarah Driscoll Photography and Unraveled Academy. Sarah, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We're excited to have you here.
Yeah. We're thrilled to have you here. You have such an amazing story, and everybody today knows what bloggers are and influencers and people who have businesses online. Mm-hmm. But you started 20 years ago as a blogger.
Yeah.
And then accidentally kind of stumbled across and became a photography business, right?
Yes.
So we want to dive into kind of a little bit more about that story. And
absolutely.
And tell us too the names of your companies, because it's amazing. You're
yes.
holding a lot of different, a lot of S corps.
So basically, it all began when I had my baby a little young. Mm-hmm. And I really was like trying to figure out how I was going to be home and make money. And that was the time of like where mommy blogs were like the thing. That was like the only thing I knew. It was like Pinterest was just getting started. Social media, I don't even know about Instagram. Like it was barely.
I didn't know it was out then.
Yeah, I think it was
just
barely
Facebook.
there. Yeah. And like I know I started posting on Instagram, but maybe it was a few years later. But yeah, so it was like I was just trying to figure it all out. And like I was home and I was like, well, I got something to say. And I was an English major in college. Well, first I was supposed to be a teacher, but I failed my MTEL, so my teacher's test by 1 point in math.
How did I not know this?
Yeah, by 1 point in math. And like I had to student teach, but I already had a baby, so I couldn't student. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
You were going to be an English teacher. What did that math score really matter?
Yeah, so I was like, I'm just going to do English writing, and I always wanted to be like a journalist or a writer or like something in that field. So I was like, I'm just going to start writing. And I did, and I just started following a bunch of people, and I was like, these people are saying things that I could say better. Mm-hmm. You know, I was just like, I'm competitive. I'm a very competitive person. So I was like,
that.
If these people can do this and get like followers, I was like, I can say this smarter and like a little more badass, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and that was kind of my approach. So I just kind of started saying like random things on my blog and sharing them and like making things happen. And it turned into like a great career. I had advertisers. I was making money on Pinterest. Like, it was awesome.
Tell me a little bit about that. So it was Diapers and Daisies is the blog.
Yes, Diapers and Daisies.
And how did you start realizing you could get advertisers?
Basically on Pinterest, you would learn, like I would click on everything or I would Google things, like just seeing like other people doing like, and you know, the sidebar of a blog, like they'd have like advertise here for $200 and things like that. Or you would just learn how to code and put like Google ads in. And
Wait, do you know how to code?
Yeah, I can code because I had to
Who are
figure
you?
it out. I had to figure it out. Like I was like, I have no money.
Yeah.
And like
And a baby.
I was pregnant. I had like 1 or 2 kids by then. I was pregnant. I was constantly pregnant. So
Yes, this is in fact true.
I was just always pregnant. So I was like, I'm home. I got to figure this shit out. And so I would just be like coding, like putting in my, website, making it better, making it cooler, figuring out how to get Google ads, and then just having people like start paying me to advertise. It was all like just fun because it was like so interesting, like to figure out how the hell people did that and like that it's actually possible. So
there's also no pressure at that point, right? Like it's like you were
not
kind
a
of
lot
just
pressure.
like trying things, paving the way. Also, I think what's interesting as a mom of twins, everyone always acts like that must have been so hard. And I'm like, it is, but it's also, I think one of the hardest things is not having anything for yourself during that period of time because you are
just any young mom.
You're just selflessly taking care of these little
and
humans.
you need some sort of like recognition.
Yeah.
Right?
And some sort of like outlet, right?
Yes.
And to me, I also feel like I always need a creative outlet. I'm always either decorating something in my house or creating the next event we're going to host on our team or coming up with the next business development idea. And for you, it's obviously you're a creative person, right?
Yes.
So this is, especially the writing piece, like that's an outlet that you were able to have during these weird hours too. I found I'd be up at like 2 a.m. and my brain would be nonstop moving, but to be able to just sit there, type a couple things and like make progress towards something amazing that you were building.
Absolutely.
It's such a smart idea.
And when you're like home with your kids, like doing nothing and just feeling like I'm nobody, you know, like you just feel like so drained all the time. Like I was like, the only thing that I found like powerful, inspiring, like giving me what I needed was like recognition of somebody being like, I just read your blog and it like changed my life. Or I just read your blog and like for the first time I felt like somebody was saying what I've been thinking. And I was like, this is awesome. It only took one person, you know, like one person to say it. And I was like, next one. Now I have my next idea, you know? And it was just like,
you're creating a community.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Now,
cool. Unbelievable.
Back to the advertising part of it, because did someone reach out to you first?
Yeah. So you would put like, I mean, now you would use Canva. I think back then, God, I don't even know what I was doing. There was like a monkey. I don't know. There was like some random like thing where you would make graphics. I forget what it was called now because I only use Canva. I don't know if you guys use Canva.
Oh yeah,
and like Photoshop. But there was like you would make graphic. You'd like input it into your side blog. It'd be like advertise here for $200. You know, like ridiculous things. And I'm sure people still do that. But yeah, it was just like, you know, put it there, and then people would reach out because actually when I was in the hospital giving birth to my second daughter, Delaney, I realized I had posted it was 25 rules for mothers of daughters, and I woke up the next morning and it had like 2 million hits, and I had just posted it like the day before, and I was like, holy crap, like I did it, like this is it, and then she was born. So it was like this really like pivotal moment where I was like, wow. Like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my shit went viral.
How are you not a millionaire right now?
I know.
We have 8 years.
Because you know what? My problem is I'm a compulsive, like, I always have to build something new.
Yeah.
I'm not good at ever staying still. So I literally just, like, got rid of all of my blog stuff. And, like, that one post, like, people stole it. And, like, it was all over everybody else's blog, people claiming to be the person that write it. And, like, I just didn't even care.
Yeah.
But I could still be making money off that blog if I just wasn't an idiot. But I was, like, constantly like, whatever. My next 2 million views will come to my next one. You know, I'm like, I always think, like, the next best thing's coming. So I'm always screwing myself over like that. But that's fine.
But I mean, it's also, like you said, that's kind of what fills your cup, though, is like chasing the next best thing. It's kind of, you do have that entrepreneurial spirit, which is chasing a high.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
and that's a good personality trait to have, right? Yeah. You're always working towards big goals, really big, lofty ones. Tell us what happened next after the blog.
So then I realized the best thing for a blog is to have good pictures. So I had a moment where I had posted, because I used to go on Pinterest and I would like just like left click save other people's pictures and put them into my blog. Like my 25 rules for mothers of daughters was like, that was like my biggest post ever. And I remember putting somebody's random photo in it, and it was like her on the bed with her daughter. And I didn't know at the time, because I wasn't a photographer, that like you can't just take people's pictures and like use them as your own. And she reached out to me, I think it was like on Facebook or something, and was like, hey, you used my picture on your blog. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that would bother you. It's a beautiful photo, you know. And she was actually really cool about it. It wasn't a thing, but it like clicked where I was like, oh, well, that's sketchy. Like if I don't want people taking my words, I shouldn't take photos. So then I was like, I guess I got to start taking my own. So then I just started learning how to shoot photos. And I had a daughter at the time, Delaney, who was like, look at me.
Yeah, your little muse.
Like, my little muse. And so it just I just figured it out. And then sooner or later I started posting them on my blog. I started posting them on my Facebook. And then I started getting mostly people who I grew up with or like family being like, oh, take our photos. And like mostly wanting it like for free and cheap and all that crap. And then I totally lost interest in, like, once I got a couple sessions, I was like, I can make way more money like with one photo shoot than I could in like a couple weeks with my blog. So it's like, why wouldn't I transition? And then that took off.
Yeah.
So
your photography is absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
Your Instagram account is, I could get lost in it. It is absolutely beautiful.
Thank
you. Clearly have such a gift. And then now you took that and you have another business.
Yes.
So tell us what happened there.
Branches.
This is but this is incredible.
Well, so then photography is like incredible, and like you have to be really passionate about it, but it's also you have to be a people person, and I'm not a people person. I actually really like people drain me unless it's like my comfort people. So it was like I would have to go to photo shoots and, you know, in the evenings, and I'd be like dealing with dads who hate their lives. Like literally, there's not a dad who doesn't hate their fucking life at a photo shoot. Like they're literally like looking at you like you caused this, and I'm like, this is like your wife paid me, bro. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like you know what I mean?
So, shut up and smile.
Yeah. So like I would leave, and I had at one point I was making so much money with photography, so much money, but I was like, I hate this.
Yeah,
like,
you were burnt out.
I was burnt out.
Yeah.
And I just could not stand it anymore. I could not stand like the feeling, like the ick feeling. There was like an ick feeling. I'd get in my car and like basically cry because I was like, you have to perform. It's like so performative because like the kids, like in order to get the kids to behave, you have to be like, look at me, you know, like it's so ridiculous. And I'm like, I can't stand that shit.
Part clown, part photographer.
It's terrible. And then the
you got the
like,
dad giving you dirty looks.
Yeah, like, who's this girl? And the only one happy is mom, you know? And so I was like,
if the kids smile.
Yes.
If they don't smile,
yes.
then the moms
and then the moms lose their shit. And then I'm just like, Mom, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, this mother's abusive. This fun. You know, like, then I'm just diagnosing.
The vibes are down.
She photographed my kids, and Kieran wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And so we just gave him a chocolate chip cookie, and Sarah just photographed him, and it was just smeared all over his face. And that was the only time he was happy.
Yeah.
So
That's it.
you truly just got to go with the flow.
Yeah, you just got to make it work.
You tried real hard, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I probably cried after.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Please leave my house. Thank you.
So anyway, that's when, so blogging was like a big thing, and then photography was a big thing. And then I could see this transition happening online, that it was like education and like presets, which are like things you use to edit your photos. I don't know if you know that.
Yep.
So like I could see what was happening with like the transition and how people were going to be making money in the future. Now everybody's doing education, but we were like, let's start this. Like, let's start doing like retreats and building communities, because it like photography has always been like online, especially like a popularity contest where like photographers are mean to one another. Nobody wants to share their locations. Nobody wants to like tell them what preset they're using, because then they're going to use the same preset and their edits are going to look the same. Like it felt very like competitive. Nobody was nice to each other. So I was like, let's make a community where we can like collaborate, build each other up. And like, who cares if somebody edits like you, because they probably live in Arizona and you live in Massachusetts. It doesn't matter, you know? So we did that, and like that was kind of like our premise, was like, we're here for like the bold people, the weird ones, like the people who aren't afraid to share. And you know, like it became a community of like misfits kind of, you know?
Well, every photographer has a little bit of a different eye too.
Yes.
So it's like, you know.
Also, you're coming at it with a similar mentality that real estate agents have to have too, or a lot of different industries, right?
100%.
Like personal trainers, like anything where there's a massive quantity of people in your field, you have to look at it from an abundance mindset versus scarcity.
Yes.
And I think that you felt like there was a lot of your competition had that scarcity mindset, that they had to hold everything close to the vest. And there are definitely people in our industry that have that similar mindset. And there's like this like edginess of constantly trying to compete and constantly trying to hide what they're doing and what works.
Right.
And I think for us, it's very similar, and it like aligns so much. Is we come at it from an education standpoint.
Yes.
We want to educate our peers. We want to educate our clients. We want to actually truly just like share our knowledge with people, because to us, the more we do that, we know that like that abundance stuff does come from there, right? Like, so
That's how you got me.
Yeah, but
Was
it's
from one of your seminars.
from a seminar, because also it's like I think, and you probably know this too from being in the education space of your industry, there's a very small percentage of people that are actually going to use what they learn from you, right?
100%.
So
That
you
is
can
so
sell your
accurate.
knowledge all day long, but most people don't want to do the work to
Definitely
actually
not.
use the knowledge. So for me, I'm like, I'll give this to anyone.
Yes.
Because I know the chances of them doing it and at the level that we do it at, slim, because we have that like high threshold of accountability, right? That we're going to do.
That is like the greatest point you could ever make, literally, is like, that's the facts. Like, you can give every single thing, and we do. We're like, this is exactly how you make this photo. Like, we have like 300 plus courses in the academy now at this point, and like we will show exactly, and people are still like, well, how do you make it? It's like, I just posted a full behind the scenes and editing video to show you exactly how I did this, but you don't even have 10 minutes to like give to that. But it's like, they'll still get something from it, but they won't like fully commit to it. But it's just like the creative brain and just like learning slowly and taking what you want. But it's so true. It's like you can give everything you know, and people still will. You need to have grit. You need to have follow through to like actually take what you learn and make it a reality.
Right. It's also one. So our core values, you just actually said like a couple of them as a team. Grit is one of them.
Yeah.
But the other part is find a way.
Yes.
Right. And for us, I think one of the most interesting and also disturbing pieces right now is that there are people out there that understand there is a way right now, easier than ever before, to figure things out.
Yep.
We have AI, right?
Yep.
We have Google. We have all these things. I talk about the fact that my mother raised me. She was a single mom. She didn't have Google. She didn't have a GPS, and yet she still would scour the newspaper to find cool activities to bring me to. She would print out a map, and she would somehow still get me to all these things.
Yep.
When she wanted to make dinner, she would pull out her recipe book. She had to drive to a grocery store and get the
crazy.
ingredients, and she would make me dinner, right? For me, it's like, we have delivery groceries. I have recipes on my phone, very handy, right? You have convenience at all hours of the day, right?
Yeah.
I had twins. I could get Amazon to drop ship all my diapers at the door. My mother had to get out there in the car and go get it, right? With a baby in the car, right? And had to go take me out of the car and go into the store and go get all the stuff, right? It's just, and everybody has a different hard, because back then it didn't have as much pressure. Like it was definitely a different world too.
Right.
And we always say, choose your hard.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the inability to figure something out, I think is just something I don't have a lot of tolerance or patience for now.
Yes.
Because that's one thing that it's like, you don't even actually have to use your own brain power for that. You just have to type in a prompt.
Yes.
Like, figure it out. You
so
will be able
true.
to figure it out.
Like that's like, remember earlier, I don't think we were talking on the podcast, but we were talking earlier that like I can code. Was that now or?
It was
I
on the
don't know.
podcast.
Yeah, okay.
It was 5 minutes
20
ago.
minutes
Yeah.
Talking? Okay, cool. I don't know. I'm losing
very
track.
It was 3 years ago.
So yeah, like it's like stuff like that. So I can do like basically anything on a website at this point. Like I'm a ninja.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody's always like, how do you do that? I'm like,
how did you
follow the
learn how to code?
prompts.
Yeah.
well, like I mean, back then it was like you watched a YouTube tutorial or like I don't know, like you Googled.
Yeah.
You know, you had to
just
read.
figured
It was
it
not
out.
as easy. Like you
Yeah.
had to Google and like go from multiple point of views and figure it out, and one wouldn't work, and then you have to do another. Now it's like ChatGPT. I'm like, like what is the code to add a yellow side? You know, like something random, like sidebar to my whatever. And like it's like, oh, here it is, and this is exactly where you put it, and what platform are you using, and like it's literally telling you. So when people are like, oh, how do you do that? Because I actually build websites for people now too, like photographers and stuff, because it's just another way to make money. And I'm just like, you dummy.
Yeah.
Like, don't hire me. Don't pay me $400,
Don't give away your trade
$500
secrets.
to like, yeah, I know, but like, this
again,
is exactly
loses
what
business
Courtney's
from this
saying.
podcast.
But
It's
she
like
won't.
nobody's gonna
But she
do
won't.
it.
Yeah.
So
No.
it's like, you dum-dums,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you're gonna pay me? Fine, I'm just gonna ChatGPT it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just taking my time, and you could just be taking yours, but you're too lazy.
Some people just don't. They'd rather, you can either throw time at the problem or money at the problem.
Yes.
And, you know, there's only so much
I'll
time.
take the money.
Yeah.
You know what? So
Yep.
I am all for delegating because I
Yes.
do actually think that that's a really smart move.
Yes.
I remember when I first had kids and was, a working mom and everything, you really are supposed to actually figure out, like, what is your hourly rate, like,
Right.
in terms of worth?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's more important to you? And to me and my husband, we had this conversation where we had a yard for the first time, right? We lived in the city. We all of a sudden have half an acre of land, not a ton of land, but like we said, do we buy one of those lawnmowers? And is he going to get out there every weekend for 1 to 2 hours? And
Yeah.
during the nicest, only good months of the year in New England, right?
Right.
And is he going to give up time with our 2 children to go mow that lawn? And I remember my father, who was the type of guy that could calculate out every little detail of things and tell you what was worth it and not worth it.
Right.
And he said, he's like, you're ridiculous. Just pay a landscaper.
Right.
Why would you buy all that equipment? Why would you waste his time? That's not a good use of his time as a new dad.
Yep.
And I loved hearing that from a different perspective. So there are times where it's like, hey, building a website wouldn't be worth it to me or someone else if they have to learn it too. And if they're not going to pick up as quickly,
Right.
spending that $400, $500 is going to be the best money they spend, right? So there's a lot of ways that that's important. I think when it comes down to it, though, when you were talking about people in your industry hiding their trade secrets, I get it to a degree because you want your secret sauce. However, I think that there is just this other piece of knowing that your secret sauce will always be your secret sauce because it is you.
Yep.
And the difference is the way you execute, the high level of standards that you have for your work,
Yeah.
the eye for detail, right? Like all those different things. So that's why I think it's amazing that you were willing to share all your trade secrets, to sell them at a price, of course, because
Right.
it does come at a cost. That's years and years of you learning
Right.
from,
Yes.
mistakes and from wins and all those different things. So it's like, that's expensive.
Yes.
That's why I look at it like that too. I'm like, if we sell all of our, 90 years worth of experience as a team, that's valuable. We learned from making mistakes.
Yeah.
But that cost us money.
Yeah, of
We
course.
learned from really, really amazing experiences as well too. But that is a cost. That's why you found a niche, you found an opportunity, you found something that people are willing to pay money for.
Yeah.
And education right now is really important. I think the funny aspect is how little they use the education they just paid for.
Yes.
Right? But
Literally,
people have degrees that
we're
they don't
constantly
use,
looking at
so-
accounts. We're like, oh, this person has been with us for 5 years. Oh, they've logged in and looked at things for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, what? But it's of course because like our community, we have like a private Facebook group. Like that's where it all happens, or like we do tons of events and stuff. Like even more so now because that's what's really taking off is events.
Well, you do really cool things.
We do really cool things. Yeah.
Do you think that that's something where the events are a huge piece of your business because people are looking for a space to connect with others? And
What we have found is that anybody who has ever come to our event is a lifetime subscriber.
yeah,
Like they don't leave because that's what we want is like people who stick around and are monthly subscribers for years. But yeah, when they come to our events, it's like usually like between 20 and maybe 50 people max at our events. But so you get to know everybody and it's like just creative and wonderful. And that's like where you find like the core of your
value.
community. And that's where those people then go out and they share. And a lot of photographers have a good following. So, and like, especially the young ones have huge followings.
It's like Rachel and her
Yeah,
TikTok
right?
following.
yeah.
So the young kids, they know what's up.
Yeah.
And so like they share about
Well,
you.
they've
and
been
then-
collecting friends since they were in 6th grade.
Yeah, right.
Right?
You know,
Like
so
it's
they
like
share and you're like, oh, now we got 10,000 more followers. You know,
Yeah.
it's like constant people just,
Yeah.
like, it's great.
Have
It's
you
casting a
learned
wide net.
from the younger ones that come in? Like, have you grown?
We try to, like, Melissa and I, who runs Unraveled with me, we're like, we're constantly like making fun of ourselves. Like, we're such old ladies now. Like, we're like just hanging out with these young bucks. Cause like, we'll get like a 25-year-old and she's the coolest or whatever. And like, she's just like teaching us like, oh, well, you gotta make more like reels where you like show your face or TikToks. You gotta get on TikTok. And like, we try to get on TikTok, but we're like, cause that's like cringy to me. That's like one thing I really struggle with is like showing up, like talking with my face. I know it's what I need to do to like, it's like literally, that's like actually was my pep talk on the way here was like, you need to get your shit together because that's your next step. Because I need to be,
Slapping yourself.
I need to like step into the influencer realm because it's fucking time.
Yeah.
Because everybody needs to. But so like that's what we learn from the younger kids is like it's not hard.
Yeah.
It's not hard. You just got to wake up every single day, just like with my blog, just like with my photography, just like with Unraveled. You got to wake up every single day and do one thing that makes a difference, you know? And so like that's me, that I'm pep talking.
Yeah.
You are honestly, you're talking dirty to me. I gotta be honest, because
your shit together and go.
No, but I'm so obsessed with the get up and just do one thing to move your business forward. Because no matter what, we're all gonna have tough days. We're all gonna have days where our kids drive us crazy, or you're just not motivated.
Yeah, you're
right?
lazy.
But if you just do one thing and just move it forward, right? And for you, I don't think you ever struggle with that because you're constantly coming up with like what's going to be the next thing for you and how you're going to evolve like personally and professionally. But I do think that that's the biggest piece is like just take it one step at a time, one bite at a time, right? And if you do those things, you'll see this massive movement forward. And
100%.
It's, to me, my favorite book is The Compound Effect because I think it's actually the most simple way to put how you actually can just like have a great life, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to get in shape and run a marathon, right? It's like you don't just go out there and run 26 miles. Like that's insane, right? You have to just start to like make it digestible and make it these small little ways that you can move things forward. And I just think that that's a good philosophy on things is to kind of look at it that way. And then going back to the idea of the young kids and like things we can learn from them, I think that's what I love about our team as well too, is like we have a good diverse group of people. You can learn so much from the people that have been in the industry a million years, but you can also learn so much from this fresh, brand new perspective because you either hear the way that they're asking questions and even getting to teach makes you better at your craft. But which is another reason why we strongly believe in education too. The more we teach somebody something, the better we become at what we're doing. And then on top of it, I also feel like it's like, but they are also teaching us, and I think opening my eyes to ideas of like, wow, they did grow up with social media their whole lives. I avoided it forever, right? Like I got Facebook in college. I avoided Instagram for as many years as I possibly could. And I think I got Instagram at like 29 years old. And I kept myself private because I was like, I don't want people following me.
I'm still private.
Yeah. Like
only VIP people.
But this is what happens.
When follow me.
But so we didn't grow up that way. Like we didn't grow up publicly,
like everything is out
posting
there.
everything we've ever done, right?
Scary.
Like I live a whole life and no one on social media knows I'm doing these things, right? Whereas like the younger generation, you can't even, like they had a matcha today and you have to know, right? Like you have to know that they had that.
100%. Obviously,
just a
why have a
different
matcha?
world.
Why pay $12 for the matcha if they're not going to post it?
Right? You weren't going to post it.
It's so true.
And we're not making fun of the younger generation. You guys are super cool, and we learn a lot from you.
We're not ageist.
And they're passionate. That's what I will say. Like if anything, like it reignites something inside of you to hear somebody asking questions and like loving what you do. Because sometimes I'm like, I hate photography. I'm in the zone where I hate photography, and then somebody comes in and they're like, look at what I just made, or like look at like what my business is going to be like, and I'm just like, oh, like that's what it should be about, is like the beginning,
the creation,
and like the feeling
the
of
excitement.
Like growing and not just being like, I'm too good for this, because we get stuck in that like because it's just hard. It's just hard, and
it's a grind.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you ever find that you feel like your business gets stagnant?
All the time.
Yeah.
I mean, especially now, like the economy, it's hard. Like we're constantly just trying to come up with new ideas and just like overpopulation of the same thing happening. Like there's so many education platforms and there's so many photographers. So all of my businesses and wedding photography I also do, and that's super saturated, and it's constantly just like we want to just let it just float, but it's like if we do that, then we can't continue to grow. So we constantly have to like remind ourselves to just keep pushing and trying new things, new branding, new colors, new text on our posts. Like it's just, it's
your industry, because you guys don't have to be licensed. I'm sure you don't have stats like we do. Like we have massive stats that tell us on a regular basis how many people are getting licensed and how many people actually survive in the industry.
Wow, that's
so
cool.
what's kind of interesting, and also out of all the licensees, how many people actually sell a house? right? So you kind of think like everyone's licensed. And then you realize, oh, like 50% of the people that have a real estate license don't actually even sell a home. And I think it's even higher than that, right? And for the past 3 years, we've had one of the most challenging markets in real estate that they keep predicting year after year. 30% will leave, then it was 40% will leave. So we knew that our competition was actually becoming smaller and smaller. However, that being said, the infopreneur, which is kind of what you do, selling things online, right? That whole like selling education and selling your platforms and selling your secret sauce, right? That's become a huge thing in real estate as well too, because people have learned that the physical aspect of having to be, you know, for you, physically at photo shoots, at the worst hours of the night, on weekends, right? Same exact thing with real estate. Everyone goes to see homes during dinner time, right? Right when you normally would be seeing your own children come out of school and those kinds of things.
Or like Saturdays.
And Sundays, right? They all want to
No
write
brunch
offers.
for us.
They all want to write offers at 9 o'clock at night after they've thought it through and like they put their kids to bed. And this is not a complaint, right? Like I love that part of our business because I do love that we don't have to get up and be at an office at 9 a.m. if we don't have to, right? So there's so much benefit to the flexibility. However, there is also this like just reality of, okay, as I go through different milestones in life, as I continue to create my path of what's next, selling your education and selling your, you know, kind of playbook of how to build this career to the younger generation who is actually very much craving that mentorship and someone who's going to teach them the ways. It's like there's a lot of value in selling that. So even though it's saturated, I also look at it like maybe there's a seat for every ass too, though, right? And if you're a hard worker and a hustler,
and there's like a voice for everybody. So like, you know, some education communities are very like high strung and professional and like pretty, you know, like photography that like is more like studio and whatever. And then like there's us who are more like, you know, we curse and we like
a little more raw.
Yeah, we're a little
but you're
raw.
Like more real.
Yeah, we like we like welcome the people who feel like they don't fit in, you know, and then there's people in the middle. So it's like important that like there is a place for everybody. It's just you got to keep reminding yourself that because it's hard But
I would wonder the stats on your industry of like out of all the people selling these courses, out of all the people that you know, are photographers, right? All these up and comers too. I think that so many people in their 20s now, they come out of college and it's not the way it was where it's you have to get into a corporate job or you have to get into a 9-to-5 type situation. A lot of people know that they have the ability to become entrepreneurial because there's so many easy ways to do it without opening up a brick and mortar and taking on this massive overhead. You can actually, at a low cost, start your own business. But I do wonder, with very little life experience, very little understanding in business in general, are they going to last and survive? And I think that that's just where it's like we probably don't have the facts on that, but that is why they're willing to spend money on education, right? Because they do need that. Like you need some guidance if you're going to be 22, fresh out of college, starting a business. To me, I'm like, I worked for 12 years in an industry that taught me everything. So to then go and figure out how to grow a business and develop a business, I'm like, well, I had 12 years of experience to go into that, right? Like you started at 20, 0 experience. You've taught yourself every single thing you've done, right? So you kind of understand the value too of you're giving them a head start on their career. That's kind of hard to put a price tag on, right?
It is,
That's why they're willing to pay.
Exactly, and it's nice to like see people start from not a lot and then end up bigger than me. You know, like actually that's a lot of the time is like at Unraveled, like we'll have somebody come in and be like, oh, I'm nobody. I don't want to post. I don't want to share my work. Like, I just need somebody to support me and tell me I'm doing a good job or there's potential here, you know, and everybody's like, there's potential here. And then they grow and grow and grow. And it's usually like the 25-year-old who just has like this incredible eye and just like decides like, I'm going to put myself out there. And then she's like double us with followers, like, you know, has so much business and it's the best.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see somebody do that. So
thanks to you. That must be really
it's great.
Rewarding.
You love the behind the scenes like aspect of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that must make you feel amazing.
I love the behind the scenes stuff. Like that's where like I thrive is like doing things that nobody else notices because I don't like to be seen.
Yeah.
But you had that pep talk this morning.
Yes.
Yep.
So you're going to become an influencer.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
It's going to start here.
What's next for Unraveled and what's next for Sarah Driscoll? What are you planning?
Oh, God. I mean, well, we have tons of events coming up. So those are like, that's what's like keeping me alive right now is like just, and like it's what like revitalizes me is like our events and stuff. So like I think, and we're finding that less people are hosting events in the photography industry because they cost so much money. So that's like something that we're transitioning into is like, let's do more in-person stuff, more teaching in person. So we're going to be doing all of that. That's what's next for me that I'm excited about. And then my photography is like, we're relaunching our wedding business. We stopped doing that for a little while because it was really overwhelming. Weddings are intense. So we're doing that again. And I'm kind of taking more clients, more than I ever have in the past, again, because my kids are older. Like, my baby's 12.
I know, it's crazy.
My baby's 12.
Oh, my God.
So, like, now I'm just like, I have time,
Yeah.
okay? So I can't just, like, pretend like I don't anymore. So now I'm like, I'm ready to hustle.
Do you feel coming back into the space that you were in for so long and, like, diving back in, you have a different perspective of how you're going to operate?
Yes. Because when you're growing your business, you have to say yes to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And people take advantage of you. People who know you take advantage of you. People want discounts. Everybody thinks like it's easy.
You're my friend. You can do it for free.
Yeah, you're my friend.
Yeah.
Or I went to high school with
Yeah.
you. Or like, I know your husband. Whatever it is. It's like, or my daughter's on your daughter's soccer team. Like, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like, no. So now, yeah, my goal is to like say no when I want to say no. But like allow myself to have opportunities that like not like I would never have said yes to this.
You wouldn't have.
I would never
Even
have
the
said yes to
dinner
this.
that I hosted.
Even that,
I was
never.
shocked you came. I was shocked you spoke.
Yes.
And
So
you
like
floored me.
so now I'm like, you know what? I know what I can and cannot do. I'm going to follow my heart. I'm going to do what feels right and I'm going to say no to everything that feels icky.
Yeah.
And that's like when I undervalue myself. I know my value and that's what I'm doing. now.
I love that.
That's what's next for me. Valuing yourself.
Yeah. But so, all right, that being said, right, anyone who is new, right, whether
Yeah.
they're switching careers and want to get into photography or influencing or blogging, right, anything like that, what would you give, or even if they're brand new to just the work world, right?
Yeah.
Like, what would you give for one piece of advice, you know, thinking back on your 20-year career of doing all of this and evolving into such amazing businesses?
I mean, I think it comes back to like the one thing every day. Like it comes back to like grit. And
Yeah.
like you can't allow yourself to feel judged by other people because that's going to happen no matter what. And the best thing you can do is actually piss people off. Because if you're pissing people off, it means you're finding the people who really love you. So never be afraid to like say something a little bold because it's going to like move out every single person that has zero interest in you and it's going to bring in like you might lose 50, but you'll get 10 and that 10 is the only thing that matters. Like just be yourself, be gritty, say what you want to say, don't be like scared of that. Like just like
no imposter syndrome.
yeah. And swear. Like curse.
Yes.
Like
Fuck yes.
fucking be yourself.
Yeah.
You know? Like that's it. And show
Sorry,
up
Mom.
every day as your fucking self and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
I
And
love
push.
that.
Yeah.
That's good.
awesome.
That is really, really good advice.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
No, that's really good advice though. And I think that the biggest thing out of all the people that we've had on here, like everyone gives amazing advice, right?
Yeah.
But I think the piece of don't be afraid to lose people in your world
Yes.
is really helpful.
Yeah.
I think that so many times people are so worried, like
Yes.
I'm gonna, upset someone and then, they're not gonna want to be around me or be in my world anymore. And there's nothing worse than bringing people along for the ride that aren't going to actually stay the course,
Yeah.
right?
Or
Because
tear
I
you
think
down.
that yes, and ultimately it's like those people, if they can't handle the good stuff, they certainly aren't going to be there for the bad, right?
Yeah.
And if they're not the right people for you too, it's also like they're going to hold you back.
Absolutely.
I love there's something out there that says basically like, the 5 people that you're the closest with are going to be the biggest impact in your ability to either succeed or fail.
Yep.
And I think about that daily, right?
Yeah, you gotta
daily when
surround
I come to
yourself
this
with people.
office, I'm like,
Yeah.
do we have the 5 coolest people in here right now? Because if not,
Yeah.
you
Get
gotta
rid
go.
of them. You're
Because,
out.
like, I can only have 5 cool people around
Yeah.
me. And no, but I always say,
Wait,
I'm like,
do I make that cut?
of course.
Of
That's
course
why
you
that's why we're
do.
right next to each other.
We match today.
No, but it's one of those things. My biggest thing that I say is I have these 2 young girls that I want to spend every minute with that I possibly can. If I'm going to spend more time with my coworkers, because just the way that the world shakes out, right? Like my kids are in school, I'm here. If I'm going to spend more time with my coworkers than I ever will with the children who I birthed,
Yeah.
you better be really fucking cool.
Yeah.
You better be people that are going to help me grow. I want to help you
Yes.
grow, and we have to all
And
be
then
in
have
this
fun.
together.
Yeah.
All be in
Yeah.
it together. We have plenty of fun.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
we
you
also
gotta,
need to. We
you
also
gotta
need
do
to
a little
crush
bit of
it.
both. Yes. Crush and then fun.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love it.
Celebrate it. Yeah.
Well, this has been amazing. I could
thank
actually
you.
continue to talk to you for several more hours, but I feel like Andy might fall asleep over there recording us. So
For sure.
right, but this was good. We'll continue the conversation over some cocktails, maybe.
Yeah. Absolutely. Can't wait.
But thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank
We're
you,
going to
Sarah.
drop all your info for anyone to be able to get in touch with you, to be able to get into Unraveled Academy, to be able to book photo sessions with Sarah Driscoll Photography.
Upcoming weddings.
Yes.
Yeah. Book me.
All the
young
things.
bucks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I need more young bucks.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah,
Yeah.
so
Thank you for having me.
we'll let everyone know where they can find you. And we're excited for this episode to come out.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you.